Welcome to the Rocker Skating Podcast News of the Week. Michelle's literally looking at me like, "What's happening?" Because I had to reset my thing here. But welcome to week of September 22nd to September 28th in the figure skating world in 2025. We have a few things that we're going to talk about today on this News of the Week, including the Junior Grand Prix in Azerbaijan and a couple of music announcements and changes that we're going to talk about. But first, let's talk about the pair that's been on everybody's sort of tip of their tongue, which is Ganesh and Shigerev, who were the Uzbekistan team last year, who kind of had a very early first season breakthrough. I mean, they were a Russian pair that changed over to Uzbekistan, but had a great first season. And now we know it is their only season because they have actually confirmed that they have split. Dmitry Shigerev had a interview where he basically said he was too injured to continue. And so that confirmed all of the random rumors that have been floating around and potentially opens up a spot for the first standby pair in the Olympics, which would be France, or standby pairs country at the Olympics, which would be France. But we don't know yet because Ekaterina Ganesh could still find a partner, train in the next few months, get technical minimums ready for the Olympics. But that is probably going to be a long shot. So we'll see what happens. Michelle, any thoughts on that?
How hard is it to get an Uzbek passport?
That
I
is
mean,
a
I think that's the
question.
biggest hurdle. She's a
That
really
is a
good pair
question.
skater, so
Well,
get someone halfway competent.
get a Uzbek passport and get released from the country that you had skated
Yeah,
for
that's true.
before, right? Like that
The release is harder than the
the
passport.
release is harder than the passport, correct? So that leaves, that doesn't give you a lot of choices potentially. So that's pairs news for you. We have some music news. And Michelle, where do you want to start with that one?
Piper and Paul.
Piper
You
and
know, these
Paul.
ice dance teams have been so quiet. Finally, one of them
I know
made an announcement.
you've been chomping at the
I've
bit.
been on the case. Piper Gillis and Paul Pori announced they are returning to their free dance from, I want to say, the 2019-20 season. Was that the year they did Vincent? They're returning to Vincent, which is one of their most famous free dances. It was really the one that kind of helped them break through into like the upper echelon of ice dance teams in the world, and they're calling it Vincent Reimagined. And Piper posted some cool shots of them moving to the music and of her in a new dress that was beautiful. So,
It was actually the last post Olympic season. I just looked it up, 2018,
oh,
2019. So it was early in their sort of ascent to the upper echelon, as you said, of ice dance. So I'm guessing it's not going to be a one-to-one repeat, and it's going to have changes. And so we've seen this before, right? With skaters who bring back programs from years past. Sometimes
we've
it
seen it
works.
in other
Sometimes it doesn't.
disciplines.
We've seen it in other disciplines. Sometimes it works.
I've never seen it
Sometimes it doesn't
at
work.
this level in dance, and with this many people doing it, it's very interesting.
It is true. Yeah. I mean, there was Weaver Poje bringing back Je suis Lamar or just suis
That's
Malade.
true.
But yeah, agreed. You don't usually see that in dance for many reasons. But
And Weaver Posey did that after having a new program choreographed and it not being successful
Right,
and
right,
needing
right.
to go back to something.
yeah, yeah, for sure. This is a very conscious choice for them to go back to that. I think there's something around that, right? Because when Gilles Poirier did this program back in 2018, 2019, they got seventh at Worlds. So it's not as if this was like they ended up sort of like making a huge. They did make a huge splash in the sense that a lot of people loved this program and it was a breakthrough for them. But I think the fact that they didn't win a world championship medal with this program probably gave them some kind of impetus to be like, this is one of our favorite programs. We should give it its due and give it its, sort of accolades.
I mean, they have been doing it as their gala program for a while. I remember they did it in Beijing,
Yeah.
the gala.
They love it. They love it. But we'll see what happens with that one, because we've seen skaters in other disciplines bring back their programs, do sort of like some switcheroos with the choreography and update it and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it doesn't come back with the same kind of magic as it does the first time around. I think of, this is very blasphemous of me, I think of Michelle Kwan's Rachmaninoff short program that she brought back at the Olympics in 2022. And I was like, yes, it's a good program, but it didn't have the magic of when she first skated it in 97, 98. And so, hopefully this won't be the case for Gilles Poirier.
I mean, speaking of blasphemous, I would have put Sasha Cohen ahead of her with, what was it, My Sweet and Tender Beast she was skating to that year? Sorry, Just got to add that in there.
The blasphemy.
Stick the knife in.
The blasphemy. So that's Gilles Poirier. More ice dance news with Fournier, Baudric, Cicerone changing or announcing that they were changing their rhythm dance music because it was too early.
89.
Not in the 90s.
90. I mean, as someone who listened to a lot of alternative rock radio in the 90s, Depeche Mode and that song were on the radio all the time. So it definitely was popular in the 90s. But I guess, if you're going to draw a hard line on release date,
right,
I guess you do it there. We'll see what they choose. I hope they keep the Vogue. Well, I don't say I hope, but I assume they will keep the Vogue theme because they put a lot of work into that, and maybe we'll make some changes to the music. Maybe we'll get some
I sort of hope
real
they don't.
Vogue.
Yeah, exactly. I sort of hope that they wouldn't because of just the similarities to the Whacking program, which was such an iconic program from Papadakis Cicerone, and it just feels like it's a recycle. But I guess we'll see. So that's another one. Another announcement, to nobody's surprise, is Alyssa Liu scrapping her short program, given the allegations and the investigation into one of the artists in that short program. Not Leve. Leve is fine, but the other. The featured artist, or I guess the other artist, right?
He's the songwriter.
Is he the songwriter?
I was half paying attention to that because I was like, oh, it's Leve. It's another Leve song, and she has this guy singing on it with her, and she's the primary vocalist on it. But he wrote the song and invited her to. So I can see how that, and everyone's analyzing his lyrics right now because they are very foreshadowing. There's a lot of foreshadowing there, and maybe or maybe not, but it seems like there is. So I can see how Alyssa's like, I'm out of this.
I can't even plead to Leve to just record a solo version of it or something because it's not her song. Yeah. So we don't know yet what she's going to bring because she basically said they're trying to find the right vehicle, and there's a likelihood that the next time you see her in competition, it will be an old short program. A lot of people think it's Promise. Given that that's the only short program she's had
in this quad.
But I don't know.
Maybe we should bring back "Don't Rain in My Parade."
Oh my God! Please do not. Please.
Her dad is like, please, please.
She is way too old for that program. I actually wonder if she's gonna go and use. Remember that that program that she did at the Olympics for the gala? It was like a K-pop program, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I do remember that. It was fun.
It was very fun, and she was wearing Olivia Smart's dress.
Yes.
And there's a part of me that's like, is she gonna do something like that as her? I don't know. Or maybe it's some kind of exhibition gala that she repurposes.
She had a Leve gala program last year, so.
Leve everywhere. I mean,
at least we know the artist that we're going to use. So we just look through her discography and she can pick from there. It's not the whole world of music. Leve's only released so much. So, yeah.
Alyssa, if you're listening, because I know, of course, Alyssa, you're listening to this podcast. Um, Let You Break My Heart Again by Leve is so good.
Mm.
But I don't know if it has enough like oomph to it. But anyway, so that's the music news for this week. And then lastly, Alexa Gasparotto and her triple axel. It continues to be on Instagram and her John Wilson blades. I mean,
Yeah, her new John Wilson blades. I
love
think
it.
she has like one of the best triple axles in the world.
It's so
It's
beautiful.
unbelievable. It's
I
like the
mean,
height.
yeah, I saw it in practice a few times at nationals, and she was very close when she was at nationals, and obviously she had landed it since then. Um, but it's a beautiful jump. Just this, the ride up, the snap, like all that kind of stuff. I mean, we'll talk about more triple axles in our regular podcast, but it's a beautiful jump from her. So hopefully it actually goes into her program because she has not done it yet in the national qualifying series programs yet. So I think she's trying to peak for the right moment this season.
Put it in the short program.
Oh, totally. Agreed. Agreed. Well, that was the news of the week for this week for September 22nd to September 28th. Oh, what else?
We didn't do the JGP.
I did it again. No JGP. Thank you. No, that was not the news of the week. The news of the week, I'm going to finish up with a Junior Grand Prix in Baku, Azerbaijan. Minkuk Saw wins the men's event over Dennis Krugloff of Belgium. And my surprise favorite from this Junior Grand Prix, Caleb Farrington and his effortless quad toe. Michelle and I were just talking about this.
His posture is beautiful. He does the quad toe like he's just like doing a waltz jump, just like walking into it, doing it, landing it. No problem.
Yeah.
Next.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But no triple axel.
No triple axel yet, but that's okay. This is a very like Stefan Lambiel-esque situation.
Yes,
We can still win an Olympic silver medal. It'll be fine.
Lambiel coded. Love it. In the women's event, Yusong Kim had a comeback. I mean, there was a lot of movement in that women's event. Mayuko Oka also both of them tried a triple axel, the Yusong Kim and Mayuko Oka, and Sophia Schifrin getting the bronze just over Yihan Wang. And frankly, there was a case to be had that Yihan Wang should have been on the podium given how they skated. So, I think both Yusong Kim and Mayuko Oka get a Junior Grand Prix final berth.
Nice.
Though I might be wrong. No, actually, I take that back. Yusong Kim was 5th in Riga, so she's probably on the bubble at this point. But Mayuko Oka does get hers. And then to your favorite Junior Ice Dance,
Yeah.
Perrier Gianissini and Blanc Copperman. I mean, they are going to become
They're so good.
they're going to become a pretty good senior team, and I'm going to have to
Yeah.
type that name over and over again, and that's a lot.
You'll just learn it muscle memory.
I know,
you know?
exactly.
Kringkraut Giuletti Schmidt. I can still say it, no problem. It's there. This was an awesome dance event. To anyone who isn't burned out from watching all of the figure skating this weekend, I highly recommend watching the last group of the free dance because all of these teams were just great. There's just a lot of diversity and new faces and cool programs. And I really loved the French team that won their program, choreographed by Olivier Schoenfelder, and it was Tarzan. It was very creative. It was giving Duchenays. I liked it a lot.
And we got some sprayed on abs there too.
Yes, lots of sprayed on abs this weekend.
the French team, bringing it.
I will say, of all the sprayed on abs we've seen them 3 times now. Samuel Blank Klepperman's sprayed on abs were the most tasteful because he was Tarzan and it was a brown shirt and it was brown sprayed on abs.
Tasteful abs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the most tasteful. I wouldn't say that they're tasteful in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bianchi Basile getting the silver, and then Hamik and Bulow getting
Mm-hmm.
bronze.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm looking back at this. Yes, Perry Genesini and Blanc Copperman do end up getting that berth to the Grand
Mm-hmm.
Prix final. Um, Hamik and Bulow got 2 third places, so
Mm-hmm.
see what happens with that. And then
Mm-hmm.
Bianchi Basile has only done one. So
Mm-hmm.
that is the Junior Grand Prix in Baku, and now that is the news of the week,
Here we go.
September 22nd to September 28th. All right. Well, hi Michelle.
Hi, Jackie.
Welcome to the Rocker Skating Podcast for real this time,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about.
So much. I watched so much skating this weekend. I felt like it was never going to end. Just and finding it and watching it all out of order, and it was a lot. I still have more I need to see. I realized that I didn't watch Star Andrews yet. I'm like, I need to watch Star.
I was all over the place because I was actually at a conference this
Oh
past
dear.
weekend, and so like I had zero chance to actually watch any of this live, and I was basically like catching the rest of this, all of the
Mm-hmm.
competition sort of like in bits and pieces while I was in between conference sessions. So that was
Mm-hmm.
a very interesting experience.
Instead of networking and
Yeah.
socializing. It's like, excuse me, I need to go watch figure skating.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Basically. You know what? I'm going to start with
Okay.
the I think the best discipline of all of the 7 that we saw at Nebelhorn
ICS?
Trophy. No. Nebelhorn Trophy
Okay.
and Nepala Memorial, which was the pairs
Oh, okay.
at Nebelhorn. The
Mm-hmm.
pairs at Nebelhorn was so jam-packed
Mm-hmm.
that the top 9 scored basically 180 points and higher.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is incredibly deep, that
Mm-hmm.
field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it felt
Yeah.
like, the top 2 felt like a rematch of worlds, like and in sort of like world's condition,
Mm-hmm.
and then the fight for bronze was pretty intense, and then the fight for 5th place was pretty intense. Like it was a really just solid competition, and I loved that it happened this early, and like
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't even get this kind of competition at a Grand Prix.
Yeah.
You
Because
really
of
wouldn't.
seeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had some really incredible pair matchups so far this season, and we're not even like a few weeks into the Grand Prix still.
Yeah.
So,
It reminds me of 2018 pairs when it was
Mhm.
just like that. I remember like what was it? Kristen Moore Towers and Michael Marinero like skating a clean short and being like 11th place at the Olympics or something like that. Like it was
yeah.
like
Yeah.
that
The depth.
kind of depth of
Mm-hmm.
like you can really just get a whole bunch of teams this season who will
Mhm.
skate very well,
Mm-hmm.
and you may not make the top 10 at the Olympics, and
Mhm.
that is just a thing.
Mhm.
Okay, let's talk about Hase Volodin and Mira Kihar,
Mhm.
because those were the top 2, and they were separated by 0.35
Mm-hmm.
in the final. And Hase Volodin, a newly minted German citizen, Nikita
Mhm.
Volodin, winning that one by a very very short, very small margin, and with Katarina Witt financed outfits.
Yeah, they just got a nice relationship with Katarina Witt. She's like mentoring them and giving them Olympic advice. And I guess the German Federation budget for them doesn't include costumes. So Katarina Witt picked up their costumes for them, which is awesome of her.
Yeah.
Not awesome that the Federation isn't covering it, but
Well, I mean, the German Federation has been sort of
Yeah.
recently, historically, not incredibly
Mhm.
financially supportive, at least, of their skaters, and so that's
Yeah,
been rough.
I think Hake and Kunkel told me a couple years ago that they determined the budget based on the finish of the previous Olympics. So because Germany really struggled at the last Olympics, their budget was like slashed for this year, this cycle.
Yeah.
So assuming these 2 really good German teams both do well in Milan, hopefully German pairs will be swimming in money in the next Olympic cycle. We can cross our fingers for that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hopefully. I mean, the German pairs, the history of German pairs continues, right? I mean, your Wurzel and Stoyers, your Savchenko, Okoi, you know, like the in and out, you know, Hasse Volden being, you know, a potential Olympic podium,
Yeah.
Olympic medalists like that. That is big for them. Miura Kihara, second after winning the short. They just had a couple mistakes in there that kept them from beating Hasse Volden. You know, I think what I found interesting in these programs was, especially in the free skate, how close Hasse and Volodin were to Miura Kihara on the program component scores. Now Miura and Kihara did have a fall, and so that kept them from getting the max. But still, I think, you know, the gap is closing between the two of them. And I think the way that the Hasse Volodin commits to their programs musically right now is stronger than the way that Miura Kihara is. And, you know, I think it's just a question of how do they continue in their seasons.
I can see what you're saying about the musical commitment, definitely. But I also think when they're both committed, I would say that Miura and Kihara have much bigger programs.
Agreed.
And I think that once they get a little further into them and into the season, if they're hitting their elements, I would have them ahead, but we'll see. They're not known for consistency necessarily. So, you know, I love that Gladiator free skate, but, you know, got to land your throws.
I mean, gotta land your throws, but the good news for them is they did land their toe axle, which is that is a big one for them, and also a big one for them to make sure they get clean, because Hasse and Volodin are stronger solo skaters, right?
Yes.
Jumpers than Miura Kihara, and for Miura Kihara to have a chance at winning the Olympics, they're going to have to be near clean on those side by sides, and that's a big deal for them. Third was Efimova Mitrofanov. They just continued to be so good. You know, they had issues on their side by sides. That's not a surprise for them, but their programs are strong. I feel like they just continue to improve, and you know, with Cam and O'Shea not having started their season yet because Danny O'Shea's been recovering from the surgery. They right now, Efimov and Mitrofanov, very much are alone in that top U.S. spot for the pairs.
Yeah, McBeath and Parkman actually skated pretty well here as well. I mean, and their score, which I think is so interesting, is plenty of points to have qualified an Olympic spot if they had gone to Chinese Nebelhorn last week. Just, you know, have to note that. But
just a thought. Thought.
I was impressed by the components that Efimova Mitrofanov got here. They really, I feel like it's like a translation of skating so well at Worlds. You're seen in a different echelon, and you kind of get that respect. I still would like to see a little more improvement from Misha in his individual skating skills in particular. But their programs are good vehicles for them, and
yeah, agreed. And then Ghilardi Abrosini doing a good job with their fourth place finish, 193 for them, just a hair off of the podium. Important, right? Very important for Ghilardi Abrosini, because Italy has two spots for the pairs, and you would think that one of those spots is going to Contimaci unless something crazy happens with them. And so that second spot likely, right, between Ghilardi Ambrosini and Beccari Gorise, who were here as well, and Lucrezia Beccari having recovered from her injury from last season, and now they're back. And so this first head-to-head, Ghilardi Ambrosini beats them fairly, you know, definitively 12 points, and so that's gonna have a lot of, you know, implications to the momentum that they're carrying. I mean, Italian Nationals is only in 2.5 months. things are happening
Yeah.
very soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the pairs. I mean, I could go on and on for about the pairs. There's just like so much good stuff in that competition. But let's move on. Let's go to ice dance.
Yeah.
Fear Gibson, Carrera Ponomarenko, and L'Oreal Legac. Your top three.
So I noticed that Fear Gibson changed a little bit of the music in the rhythm dance. They said that the second half, they got feedback the second half wasn't fast enough. That's, I think, what we said as well. And so they're still using Spice Up Your Life, but it's a little bit faster paced. And I don't mean to keep picking at this, but I really feel like when you edit it so much that the lyrics are different, you just like want to start singing along in your head, and then it's like doesn't work, and it's like, wait. And I say this as someone who loves the Spice Girls, but I've never owned a Spice Girls album, but I still know every word of that song, and I'm just like, this is no. But they did skate both of their programs relatively well here. They weren't that happy with their scores. I think we saw across both dance events this weekend, Nebelhorn and Nepela, the callers were really picky. The one at Nepela was like out for blood. I mean, she was like, it was like Halloween, Michael Myers, like slashings there. It was just vile. But in this, I feel like in Nebelhorn, everyone was held to a very strict standard. And so we saw the scores a little bit lower than we expected to.
I mean, I want to call out the interesting one with L'Oreal Legac getting 180 after getting 197 at Kinoshita. Like, you generally don't see that kind of like huge range of scores unless you are Diana Davis and Gleb Smokin from a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's just rare that you see something like that. And as I remember it, they didn't make any major errors. I mean, the only thing was in their rhythm dance where they had that exclamation point on their choreographic step, and you know that, as we've now talked about many times, that is did not meet the requirements for that sequence. So it's interesting to see that, because obviously Canada has 3 spots, right? And the third spot looked like it was in kind of the hands of L'Oreal Legac after that that first competition, and now it's like, okay, well, maybe that was just a fluke of scoring. Who knows? We'll see.
It was odd. I don't know. I found that very. I mean, I was surprised by how high their scores were at Kinoshita Cup.
Same.
And then I was also kind of surprised by the overcorrection here. I'm like, nope, we're cutting you back down. So yeah, that team has to be confused.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like you skate fairly similarly in two different competitions, and you get 17 points difference, right? Like that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with.
Yeah. I want to talk about Christina Carrera and Anthony Ponomarenko. Their rhythm dance, I think, is my favorite of the season. I've never seen Anthony Ponomarenko like moving around so much. He's like skating out of his skin to this program. I love the labouche. I love the crystal waters. We saw this as their gala program at Champs Camp, but like seeing it performed, competed, I think this is my favorite so far. This is just the high energy, the choreography, the way they hit the musical accents. I was all about it. I was a big fan.
This is going to be a season of just 90s music over and over and over again. And we're going to, I don't know. I feel like I had Backstreet Boys overload at Chinese Nebelhorn, and
you can never have too much labouche. It's impossible. I have to keep checking myself because I'm like, is this good, or am I just biased because I love this music?
Right, exactly. That's part of this, right? That is part of it. I agree.
But we also got to see their new free dance. They said at this event in the mix zone that they had a free dance to La Cremosa by Mozart, and it was never quite working. And they decided at Champs Camp to change it. And so their second choice was Notre Dame de Paris. And so that is their new free dance. And I thought they delivered it relatively well. I can definitely see where they may want to put a little more work in it when they have more time. But for 3 weeks, I thought it looked pretty solid.
There just haven't been that many really good La Cremosa programs, and I just think it's the music. I don't know, like it just doesn't. It's just like too much of a downer.
Yeah, the ones I like only use it as a snippet. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
thought the
Yeah.
way Anna Sherbakova used it at the end of her free skate was good. I go back, this is like going back in ancient history, but Dankova Stavisky had a world's program where they used it, and it was just pieces of it, and
Yeah.
it worked well. But to have the whole thing, the vehicle, it's hard. Yeah.
It's very repetitive, right? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
part of the issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Dramatic.
yeah, too dramatic. Like
Mm-hmm.
bells of Moscow dramatic.
Yeah. Oh God.
I know, too much.
Triggered.
All right, women. Oh, another incredible competition with the women's events. Top 4 all over 207. I mean, these scores would have been top 5 at the last World Championships.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, this is pretty
nuts.
close. Put Luna in here and Cowrie, and we might have like the final group at the Olympics.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. I do have a little quibble with the women's event though.
Oh, let's
In the
talk
short
about
program.
let's talk about the quibble.
Mone
Yes.
Chiba was a little underscored. And I don't know why. I think her jump calls were a little bit harsh, but I can see where they got them. But the components were a little low, particularly putting her behind Isabeau, which I felt was confusing. And ultimately, that decision to kind of hold her down in the short program led to her not winning the competition, despite winning the free skate. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, all 3 of her triples were called. 2 Qs on the combo. The flip and the toe got a Q, and then the Lutz got an unclear edge. Her
A
Lutz,
little aggressive.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, her Lutz used to get an unclear edge all the time, and it sort of fluctuated here and there. And here it was not only called unclear in the short, it was also
an
called
E.
unclear and a clear edge in the free. So
Yeah.
it's the let's edge thing is one of those things where it's just so infuriating how it varies by competition. And that is also to say, because these skaters are very much like on the edge, no pun intended or pun intended, on the edge on these edges for these jumps, it does switch around, right? Because sometimes you get in, sometimes you don't, and it really depends on how your body sort of reacts in that split second right before you tap. And sometimes the thing is you don't get it reviewed and you're fine. And if you get it reviewed, like we said last week, anytime you get a slow motion camera on something, you probably can find something.
Yeah.
So that was the thing with Monet. So Amber Glenn, 2 triple axels, 2 beautiful triple axels.
Gorgeous. Like, effort.
Yeah.
She's really kind of like, I feel like mentally gotten used to doing that element and
So
she just
nice.
does it and then moves on.
So
Yeah.
nice. And then a couple of errors on the loop, a step out in the loop on the short program, and then a fall on the loop, on the second loop in the free skate. She did say that she had a cramp in the spin right before her second triple loop, and so like the last minute and a half was like really painful for her to skate through. I mean, this is the second time we have heard about a cramp this season, which is kind of crazy because we usually don't hear about
Yeah.
people cramping mid-program. Yuma Kageyama did that earlier this season, and then now Amber Glenn.
Yeah.
So drink your water, please. Get
Yeah.
them electrolytes.
Yeah. Yeah. Amber's short program was pretty awesome.
So
That was-
good. I thought that was
great.
underscored. I really thought it
Yeah.
was underscored.
Yeah.
That is
it
that
was-
is a different that's a different level of Amber Glenn, I think.
Yeah, the program construction. And when you get, I mean, there was a relatively like decent crowd in this room, but you get in like a real like arena, people are just going to go crazy for that step sequence. It was just really builds really well. It's really, I don't know, it sucks you in. It's exciting. I would
I think
say
it was-
maybe we have our like second Olympic program of the Olympic season.
Would I say third? Would I say Mira Kihara's Gladiator free skate?
Okay.
I think I would.
Okay.
So third. Yeah, I agree. I think the thing about Amber's short program step sequence that I loved so much was the joy that came out of it. you don't see that with her, right? She usually skates to some of this like angsty music,
Yeah.
and it's like oh yeah, like emo Amber, as
Yeah.
opposed to this like she just let it all loose, and it's this sort of projection that you love to see in a step sequence, and those are the ones that you really remember, and that was a thing. Okay, Jia Shin, what a what what a change
Yeah.
from earlier this season. At
It was a
Cranberry.
statement, winning the short program, skating clean. I think Gia's had some issues with her jump consistency the last season or two, and I think that's sort of detracted a little bit from her performance level. But I mean, I feel like she really threw down in the short program, and I'm glad that she was rewarded for it. I think her skating is so beautiful, and she's so musical, and you want to see her get, those scores. So that was nice.
Yeah, you hope that this will continue with her, and it's not like this is the norm rather than a blip, given that we have seen that inconsistency with her in the past. But that this automatically sort of vaults her into the conversation quite a bit, and especially, and we'll talk about this more with Nepela Trophy or Nepala Memorial, especially with Cheon Kim.
Yeah.
Completely out of sorts at Nepala, and we'll go into that when we get to that competition.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when Gia was competing on the Junior Grand Prix against Mao Shimada and against Isabeau, and it's like she's lucky her birthday's a little bit earlier, so she is eligible for senior this year. And I think we really saw her as a contender, for this Olympic team, maybe this like Olympic podium. And then with her struggles the last couple of years, we weren't really sure, but it's nice to see her back and putting herself in the conversation because skating skills wise, I think she should be in it.
Yeah. Isabel Levito ended up fourth, very close fourth. And, the combo is still not rotated. And, you saw that the calling, the consistency of the calling, right? Because she also had not only that under rotated triple toe on the end of the combo, but the Lutz got called an unclear edge, an unclear edge, right, in the free skate, and she knows that is fairly critical, right? Given that in the short program she has taken the Lutz completely out, and in the free skate she's only doing one Lutz. So that's a different strategy than she's had in the past, and I think she's trying to make sure that she has as few of those calls as she possibly could.
Yeah, I think, her takeoff on her flip and her Lutz hasn't really changed or improved a lot in the past couple of years. And I think the long setup, kind of the piking at the waist, it really draws your attention to the takeoff in a negative way. And I feel like that now that edge is in question, it's always going to be something they look at. Like you want to penalize that somehow.
I mean, what was so interesting too was there was a point when they were looking at her flip edge too.
Yeah.
Because her edge on both of those jumps, she's one of those who it can switch to whatever, depending on how she ends up tapping in. It's kind of like Mirai Nagasu was like that too. Like you'd see Mirai getting edge calls on both her flip and her Lutz, where you're like, okay, well, like what's happening there? So that's the same thing that's going on with Isabeau. That's the women. Okay, the men. Let's finish this up with the Nebelhorn Trophy. Okay, Steven Gogolev.
We're in the Gogolevissance.
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 This is not on it. I think this is not on many people's bingo cards. The Canadian men and the Canadian women are looking like they're going to have some kind of battle.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's like finally
for one spot.
Let's go.
One spot each.
I don't know where Keegan's gonna fit in here.
We don't even know when Keegan's gonna come back, right? Like that's part of the thing too.
Gogolev's very secure quadruple Salchow is very nice, and I'm impressed with that. And I feel like that's really anchored his success at his two competitions so far this season.
I mean, his problem with the last couple of seasons has been all these pops, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he did pop the quad toe,
Oh yeah.
but the everything else was great.
Mm-hmm.
The Lutz axle, which he did last
Mm-hmm.
season, is like it's so cool to see a combo like that.
You know, it wasn't great. The
The
short program
costume,
costume. I mean,
yep.
I don't want to buy any life insurance. I don't know what's going on there. That's a fun, frisky, sexy program. Get a different costume
There's
because like
there's nothing fun
yeah,
and frisky about that costume.
I
No,
put some gel in your hair and put on a sexy costume. Like I mean, because it's a good program. He's detracting from it.
yeah, yes, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that costume is just so distracting.
Yeah, yeah.
Like not in a good way. Um, but also you look at the results too, and Roman Sadowski ended up fifth because of the
Mm-hmm.
short program, but he was second in the free skate.
Mm-hmm.
And, he won Cranberry Cup earlier this season,
Mm-hmm.
and now Gogolev wins Nebelhorn
Mm-hmm.
Trophy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
really, did two different Canadian men
It's
win
crazy.
two international competitions? That is not something that you thought would happen this season.
No. Or any season.
Or
I
any
mean,
season.
crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Since
Um,
2008, 2007. I mean, yeah.
I like that you went all the way back to when
Well, I was
Patrick
thinking,
Chan
when
just,
did they
first
last
started.
have two really good
Oh, that's true. That's
men?
true.
It was
Yes,
Patrick
yes,
and Jeff
yes.
Buttle.
That's
Mm-hmm.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Andrew Torgashev got silver. Really nice short program, and then just kind of issues in the free skate. That fall
Yeah,
on the
but
second triple axel was like, oof.
they scored his components like he skated the free skate as well as he skated the short program, which was a little surprising. He was getting like Jason Brown-esque 83 in components for the free skate, like especially with big falls. It was yeah,
Yeah,
generous.
surprising.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for Torx fans out there,
Mm-hmm.
this is as strongly as he has
Mm-hmm.
debuted in any season that he's had,
Mm-hmm.
and given that he's had troubles with consistency early in the season and then kind of turns it on at nationals,
Mm-hmm.
or that he's been recovering from injuries or something, like
Mm-hmm.
this is a good sign for him. He usually only gets stronger from here, and so we'll see where he goes in that in the rest of the season. And I think he's been itching to bring back that quad sow cow, and I know he does it in practice, and so
Mm-hmm.
we'll see if it does come back or not later on in the season. Lucas Richke gets the bronze, fairly close to both Andrew Torgashev and Kazuki Tomono, who ended up
Mm-hmm.
fourth, and Roman Zadowski ended up fifth. The difference between third and fifth was literally less than 3 points, so it was very close competition. Kazuki Tomono's short program is still one of my favorites of the season.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about the Halston free skate though, and I feel like I don't know, he doesn't deliver it anywhere near the energy or the excitement level of the short. I mean, it's a different type of
It's a
program.
different
but-
program, yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'll say also is Liam Kapakis getting his triple axel back after last year, like completely
Yay.
gone. So that I'm sure that he's got to be happy with that, and that changes his outlook maybe for this Olympic season.
Yeah. Maybe explains why he got Skate America so early as
Right.
the host pick.
Right, exactly. A couple of interesting ones as well. Tatsuya Tsuboi, who went to Worlds last year, just completely out of sorts at this competition. Eighth place, a bunch of mistakes. So, as we've said, the men's event for Japan is just so wide open outside of Yuma Kageyama that you really just could see any of these guys, right? And again, kind of Kazuki Tomono not skating perfectly, but getting a fourth place at this event, like that helps his trajectory. Tatsuya Tsuboi getting eighth place does not, right? Like those things are, kind of easy to say, but it's also like everybody is on it right now, and they know that all of these competitions count. All right, well, so that's Nebelhorn Trophy.
I'm gonna head over to Bratislava,
I know.
Slovakia.
What an exciting competition though, Nebelhorn.
Yeah.
But you know, let's actually start with Nebelhorn Trophy and the men. Let's start with the
Nepala
men.
Memorial.
Yeah. Oh God, I keep calling it trophy. Let me start that
You
again.
said Nebelhorn Trophy.
Did I say Nebelhorn Trophy?
You
Oh my gosh,
did.
my brain.
Nepelhorn. That's what I called
Nebelhorn.
my notes for this week. Nepelhorn.
My
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's start with Nepala Memorial,
Yeah.
and we're not going to go to the men first. We're actually going to go to the women first because you got an Italian sweep.
Yeah.
Laranaki
Sharknaki
Goodman.
and her fleet.
Oh, Sharknaki and her fins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Laranaki Goodman breaking 200 to win a very competitive top three Italian podium. Anna Pizzetta getting second with a 192, so about 10 points off the first place spot. And then Sarina Jose, after a couple of years of sort of like what happened to her after she made that world team that one year, she skated very well, a near clean free skate and getting a 180. And so, you know, something of an embarrassment of riches, right? Three very good skaters for the women's event in Italy for one Olympic spot. So I do think that the Gutmann and Pizzetta battle this season is going to be very close and very strong. Laranaki Gutmann has found her consistency, it seems. Two competitions in a row where she basically skated cleanly. Anna Pizzetta is not one who we know is a consistent skater. And so let's see if she can continue to build off of this performance. She had a couple pops in the free skate, which kept her from really being competitive. And so that was the big thing. And she's going to have to keep skating lights out in order for her to even have a chance against Laranaki Gutmann, because Laranaki is has just come out of the gates so strongly.
Yeah. Anna Pizzetta, her jumps are so huge. When she finds her consistency, I just feel like everyone needs to watch out, but she just hasn't quite found it yet. And I hope she finds it.
It's very Caitlin Osmond, those jumps, like just kind of booming jumps that when they're landed, you're just like, wow,
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Maria Senyuk getting fourth, and then triple axel
Yeah.
Canadian
Sarah
queen
Maud.
Sarah Maud Dupuis. She stepped out of the triple axel and the free skate, but it was clean. It was fully rotated.
Yeah.
And it's gonna land at some point. Like that's gonna happen.
Yeah, Canadian Nationals is like one of the must-see events of the year this
Like,
year.
what
I don't know if I
happened?
watched it last year. I just watched Piper and Paul, and that's it. Yeah.
But like, what happened, right? Like all of a sudden, it's like Maddie Skeezus, it's Sarah Maud Dupuis, it's Gabby Daleman. Like,
yeah.
you know, just like with the men, there's you know, they may not win a medal at at the Olympics, but the fight for that Olympic spot is gonna be very strong.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the story of this event, unfortunately, is the person who finished in 12th. World medalist Cheon Kim, who had two of the roughest skates I've seen from her ever, I think.
I
And
don't
I
know
don't
if she's
score
ever
on.
skated that low
no.
or scored that low.
I mean, and it's my primary impression of Cheon Kim is someone who doesn't miss her jumps. She hits them. No matter
Yeah.
what's going on, she's going to hit her triple. She may not, show any reaction on her face after hitting it, but she's going to hit it. And she was having trouble with just solo jumps here. I mean, something's really amiss. I don't know what's going on. I liked her free skate. I thought it looked nice on her and had some potential, but she just wasn't getting the jumps in there.
I mean, I'm going back to her competitions. I don't see. So she scored a 148 here. I don't see anything under 180 in her entire senior career.
Wow.
And then in her junior career, The only time she scored under that was in 2020 when she was fourth at Korean Junior Nationals.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's crazy. It's
Yeah.
like
Okay,
the
her personal best free skate score is a 148 that she got at Four Continents
and she
this
skated a
year.
148 here.
She got a 148 for both
Yeah,
programs.
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
I
And it
hope she's
wasn't.
okay.
Yeah, I hope she's okay too. And it wasn't just that she wasn't popping jumps. She was under rotating. She was cues. She was falling. Like it.
Yeah.
There's something going on there because we have not seen her jumps look like that
Ever.
ever.
Yeah.
So let's hope everything's okay.
And from what I know, she's been training in Colorado Springs since last season ended. So she's had that change as well. I remember I saw pictures when U.S. skater Claire Saw graduated from high school. Cheon went to her high school graduation, which I thought was so cute. And I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope it's not anything serious. There are a couple other ones that were of interest here as well. Star Andrews, fourth in the short, and then eighth in the free, and then ended up with the seventh. This was one of those competitions where she could have been on the podium and kind of made a little noise, leading up to nationals, and let that chance slip away. Nina Petrikina, who was such a rock star last season. I feel like she always kind of starts a little bit slow. And so, eighth place here was I'm sure not what she wanted to do. But that was another one where, there were eyes on that program for sure. Okay. That was the women. Let's go to the men and we'll finish with your favorites, the dance. The men was also, I mean, they were menning, lots of menning going on.
Oh, this was so much menning.
So much menning.
Yeah.
Kevin,
Except from the winner, Kevin Amos,
Kevin.
who won both segments.
I know. Kevin Amos was just like, he was there. I mean, the only thing he really made a mistake on was in the free where he like singled a Lutz and then.
Yeah. It wasn't quite Texas Kevin, but it was a slightly Texan Kevin. It was, it was very strong. And you could see it in his face in the free skate. He's like, I'm going to skate this program well. Yeah.
Yeah. 261.90 for Kevin Amos is a good, solid competition for him. I think the surprise here, a couple of surprises, is that out of the three men who competed here for Italy, it was Matteo Rizzo who ended up in front.
Hell yeah.
Matteo Rizzo landing clean quad toes again. Like that is good to see. And
his free skate was good.
I
have to say the music is a little hard to listen to, but I think the program construction and the delivery is really nice. And that is a big contrast, I will say, to Daniel Grassel, who was in third with his conclave free skate, which I didn't think had any choreography in it. I don't know how you feel about it, Jackie, but it was like at this event, they were playing different music over the replays, which is not a common thing in ISU events. It's usually the skaters' music. But they were playing Elvis over Grassel's replays, and it was like he could be skating to this.
And you're like, that looks
That's his
right.
music. Yeah.
That tends to be how he skates. I think maybe with the exception of the Billy Elliot program.
Yeah,
where
that's my most recent memory of him, and there was choreography.
There was choreography.
I think because his heart was in it.
Yeah. I don't know about the conclave program for him. But these are all very Italian coded for sure. I think the biggest surprise was Nepela Memorial. After having such a great first competition, for him to not only be behind the other two Italian men, but eighth in the overall standings. You saw this with him last year as well, where he had one really huge event, and then the next one was like, he does have an air of inconsistency to him in practice, and you see that in competition. Like it very much translates, and you see that here. He's trying quad flip and quad Lutz, right? And those are going to be high risk elements, but you can't single a triple Lutz, right? Like that was
Yeah.
that was the thing that was killer for him. He was 220, in eighth place, and a mistake like a single triple Lutz is one of those that's just gonna like bury you, because you're just like losing unnecessary points.
Yeah. Yeah. His quad flip that he did to open the short was really nice, and I was like, oh, here we go. And then
Yep.
we did not quite go as far as we went at Lombardia Trophy.
Did not quite go.
Yeah.
There are a couple of other interesting ones here as well. I mean, the Italian men are there's a lot hanging in the balance on that one too, because it's two spots, and you've got three men who are going for those two spots. For Estonia, you got one spot, and you got the brothers going for that one spot, and Michał Selevko was here, and he got fourth here, and basically scored fairly identically to what Alexander Selevko did at Cranberry Cup. So expect that battle for that spot to be exciting. Jacob Sanchez, again, kind of squandering an opportunity in a lot of ways, given that, one, he could really be a dark horse for the third spot for the Olympics for the US. But, another one where he skated a strong short and then sort of fell apart in the free skate. So he's going to need to really amp it up in the next couple of months if he's going to figure into the conversation for one of those three spots.
Are we going to talk about Tomas's short program?
I was about to say, we're going to see a Minions program at the Olympics, and that will be from Tommy Guarino Sabate. Yes.
It's fun. I don't care. I enjoyed it. I was like, let's go. This is great. This is funny. His choreo, footwork was just fun, and
Like,
why
really,
not?
what do you have to lose, right?
Yeah. And he doesn't know if he's going to make. I mean, this is someone who may not make the free skate, so this is going to be his depth for sure. One appearance at the Olympics, he's going to do the short. Yeah.
So, if you haven't watched that, please go and watch Tommy's short program, because if you're having a bad day, you probably will at least get a good laugh out of it. Put a smile on your face. All right, let's get to the dance and finish up our episode here. Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 wins it.
Yeah. I watched
And
it
your
twice.
thoughts?
Okay. I really was not, I don't know how I felt. I was like, I don't know. Like, why are they made such a statement with this? But I do think this new program, it's like different cuts of
It's a
music,
completely
different
different
element
program.
order, it has a different vibe. And I wasn't displeased. I enjoyed it. I thought it has a lot of good moments, and it still had a lot of impact and power, and didn't feel like an old shirt. It felt new, newer. And
Agreed.
I liked it. I was happy with it. I thought the rhythm dance was pretty good too, George Michael. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that on for the free dance. I want to use one of the words that you just said, moments. There are a lot of moments
Yes.
in that program, and it almost felt like they were choreographing it for specific elements that they created that were very inventive, right? Like the opening lift was very inventive, the rotational lift. The choreographic slide is one of my favorite choreographic slides that anybody's done in recent memory. The choreographic lift at the end was
crazy.
It was like last year when they had that choreographic lift. Like they felt like they sort of had to one up themselves on that one, and they kind of did. But that lift was a little bit janky. It took a little bit of time to get it up, and you kind of were like, oh my god, is this gonna happen? Is this gonna happen? I'm sure it kind of like last year. They're gonna get used to it during the season, and it'll get better and better. I agree with you that it is a completely different program than last year, and it works. I do think that the moments sort of overshadowed some of the the edges weren't quite clean. The power wasn't quite there. Like I think that's the kind of thing that they can and will work on over
Yeah.
the season. But if you just looked at them at Tuschler over and Tuschler and the way that they skate, like I think there is a difference there, especially in this competition of the Tuschlers were just so much like bigger in their skating.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that was a thing, and you saw that I think more even in the short program or in the rhythm dance.
Yeah. Yeah, I really felt like the panel was harsh on the Tashlers in the free dance. Like the difference in components between them and Smart Deke was pretty significant. And I felt like that was sort of them telling them we didn't like your material, or I don't know, there's some kind of message in there that's I think harsh. I liked their Matrix program. I thought it was a good match for their style. It had some really cool moments in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking back at their marks there. I mean, the straight line lift got basically 2 points off because they got a level 2. Dance spin got a level 3. So it was just like, they were already trailing in some of those base values, and then somehow there were just some judges who were giving them +1s instead of +2s and 3s, and that was that was an issue, right? I do like, now that I'm looking at it, Spartan Deke's rotational lift that I talked about at the very beginning, 5s across the board with the exception of 1-3. Like
That's
they're
good.
getting recognized for stuff like
Yeah.
that, which is
Yeah.
like, it's nice to see that that kind of innovation is actually getting the credit and the grades of execution that it deserves, because that was an incredibly good lift. Let's talk about the Americans.
Well, I'm going to talk about the technical specialists first.
Let's talk about this technical specialist first. Go ahead.
Slava Grinkova and Anna Kurtskaya. I'm not familiar with either of them, but I don't know what was going on with them. They were like out for blood, especially in this rhythm dance. I mean, I've never seen so many high-level teams get level 1s on things. And one thing I like to do during the Grand Prix, just dance nerd stuff, is when someone loses levels on something and it's not immediately apparent to me, I go and rewatch it with the rules in front of me and figure out exactly what the call was. And for the most part, you can figure it out. I watched Caroline and Michael's Twizzles, which both got a level 1 in the rhythm dance, probably 4 times in slow-mo, reading the rules, looking at them, rereading them, looking at them. I have no idea where that came from. My only thought was that maybe that these technical specialists don't know that you can like stay on one foot the whole time, and that's enough for a Group C feature. There's like a whole bunch of things. I was like, the harshest I can be, this is a level 3 for both of them. And they both got 1. And they both got 1s on their midlines. And a bunch of other teams were hosed like this. And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And the reason I went so in on Caroline and Michael's Twizzles, because they are doing like the hardest variation to get the Group C feature is they are staying on one foot for both Twizzles with turns in between, which is like crazy.
That's hard.
And they're just like, nope, level 1, bye. Yeah. They were understandably frustrated. As was I.
Yeah.
As I remain.
As was Michael Parsons' sprayed on abs.
Yes. I did like their Delight rhythm dance. The Delight parts of it I thought were very good.
Delightful.
Yeah, they were delightful. The Right Said Fred little snippet, I wasn't sure. That was okay. But Delight is always a fun time. And their fun little like loop-de-loop shoot the duck thing that Caroline did on the like woo and the music, that was so fun. Again, I can't tell whether it's good skating or if I love the music, but I think it's good skating.
I think it's interesting with them, right? Because in the rhythm dance, because of those calls, they ended up behind Wolf Kost and Zarewski.
Yes.
And then they rallied in the free dance and ended up on the podium. But this is, Green Parsons is one of those teams that have not been known to be strong coming out of the gates, and they end up really making it work at the end. And that happened a few years ago when they ended up 6th at Worlds. That ended up last year when they ended up on the world team. and they're going to need to step it up faster. I do think that, like you said, like some of those calls had the Twizzles been called differently, they would have been a silver here. Should have changed a lot of things, but I think it was good that they did rally and ended up with that bronze. But the French,
There was some French drama.
I think so. How do you, if you were Evgeny Loparieva and Jeffrey Brousseau, you would be asking yourself, how did I go from hitting
Yeah.
200s one season to now consistently being in the 180s? Like, they were 180s at French Masters at a domestic
Yeah.
competition that usually, like,
Well, there's messing up the Twizzles. There's that.
yes.
They also had extraordinary material last year, and I think their free dance is not quite there yet. Last year they had, I mean, that was just fantastic program. So this free dance is not quite up there yet. But I also think the level of politicking your federation does is apparent here, and that the French Federation has apparently like withdrawn their political favors from this team. Like they like, you're on your own. Go. Good luck.
It's crazy.
And I think, yeah, it's crappy to see, but yeah, I mean, they've got to be upset. But they were very close to Demoujeux Le Mercier here, and we're
Exactly.
behind them in the rhythm dance.
Exactly.
And I am a Demoujeux and Le Mercier truther. I love them. I love their coach Karine Ribert. I think she's doing such cool creative work. And I think it's just, very, very sad that one of these teams is not going to get to go to the Olympics.
Agreed. They should have both gone to the Olympics.
Yep. I agree. Yeah, but it's exciting and interesting to see them within 0.35 of each other overall at this event. That's interesting.
I know.
And
Like you said, right? Like Demoujeux and Le Mercier were more or less clean in their two programs, and the difference there for Loparieva de Brousseau were both sets of Twizzles. The one in the rhythm dance where she messed up, and the one in the free dance where he messed up. And so, without those errors, they would have been 5 or 6 points higher, which would have made a difference. Maybe
if they got credit for them.
Maybe.
I was criticizing the technical specialist, but I also feel like it's interesting that they saw the levels in Demoujeux Le Mercier skating, because I always feel like that team is kind of cheated a little bit, especially like when they're on the Grand Prix. They're sort of like kind of like left on the outside. I never feel like they're scored as well as they could be, but for whatever reason, this crazy panel saw it in them and gave them the levels. So I don't know what's going on there, but
Ice dance will continue to intrigue you for the rest of your life. That is kind of how that
it will.
goes. All right. Well, that was the marathon. That was Nepela,
Nebelhorn.
Nepelhorn, whatever you want to call it. It's like Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
This will be the only time, I believe, we will have 2 Challenger Series events in the same week, and so
Thank God.
thank God. Next week, or this coming week, we're going to be going to Kazakhstan, right? Then a Dennis 10 Memorial will be happening. Jason Brown will be there. Misha Shidorov will be there. Like lots of
Diana Davis and Gleb Smokin skating to Pretty Fly for a white guy by the Offspring.
The Offspring will be there. A white guy will be there. Like there's so many things. It will be. I mean, I do find it interesting because we're not at the Grand Prix yet, and we have seen a lot of great skating already. And I feel like every week it's like, oh my gosh, it's the new ones, and these are the more new ones, and we're getting this rolling debut of new programs and people who are already ready for that for those titles. Like it's a good season so far, and I hope it continues.
Yeah.
I sure hope it continues.
Yeah.
All right, what are you obsessed about this week, Michelle?
I'm going to have to stick with Carrera and Ponomarenko's rhythm dance. I mean, La Bouche forever. I loved it. I like seeing them perform at this level. I think props to their coaching team, Scott Moyer and Maddie Hubble, to like really getting it out of them. I mean, they're just laying it down, and that program is like a must watch for me. I'll watch it anytime it comes up on my feed. It's fun.
Amber
How about you?
Glenn's Like a Prayer
Yeah.
costume. That's
Oh.
what I'm obsessed about.
So my friend Cindy was telling me Lisa McKinnon did both Amber and Isabeau's costumes, and that illusion fabric match is unbelievable.
Right.
It looks like you can't even see it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah,
Don't
I
get
know.
don't go get a tan, Amber.
No,
Like that's
yeah,
that's gonna
seriously.
change.
Stay in the house.
Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
that costume is just. I remember seeing the like a photo of it and being like, "Wow, this looks heavy. Like it looks like looks like it could really weigh you down." But then when you see it in action and sort of in flight, it looks perfectly fine and doesn't look like it's sort of distracting. So props to Lisa McKinnon. She always gives you some good stuff. So all right, well. Nebelhorn, Nepela, all of that is done, and we have more Challenger Series events coming up, and that also means that next week will be October, and the Grand Prix will be starting soon. This train is just running right at us. It's the Olympic season. It doesn't stop.
And hopefully we'll have more program announcements next week.
I know.
Let's see.
Maybe Alyssa Liu will have figured out a new program. We'll see.
Or the Italians will have come out of hiding, the Italian dance team, who are still missing in action. Charlene and Marco, where are you? What are you doing? What are you skating to?
Having a summit with the ships, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see. All right. Well, Michelle, thank you as always for joining me. This is Jackie Wong, Sheepscape Nerd of rockerskating.com, and our podcast, as always, is sponsored by John Wilson Blades and edited and produced by Tara Nichols. We will see you again next week, and get some sleep because we got more skating coming. Bye.